How's it going, guys? It's Joe. Welcome to the channel. Today we're doing 3v3 of GAC, and I'm actually quite glad to be back as I do quite enjoy hearing your ideas and comments in my videos. So today we're going to be going against Laphy. He does have 7.1 GP. We're pretty matched up in the 2.3 of the top 80. In terms of the relics, he does have one T8 relic. I myself haven't T8 relicked any of my characters as of yet. In the lifetime banners, he's close to 560k, so he has the edge there. In the defensive holds as well. Now, having a look at the mods, we're pretty matched up in the plus 20. He has more plus 10s and about 20 more 6-dot mods, so it should be quite an interesting matchup, as I do believe he's ranked in Kyber 1000 before, so that's pretty close. And having a look at his stats here, or actually just before we begin, I want to show you my previous match, or at least give you a bit of an overview as to what happened. To give you the story, I wasn't able to actually record this as I was heading off to work, and I do believe I was quite busy this week, or in this particular round of GAC. I did mess up a couple of times, as you can see, and I did end up placing such a heavy defense to the point that I don't think I had enough for offense, and that was a learning curve for me. As you can see, the defense in the front here, I did place Gas and Jedi Luke, and look at the back, we've got Qui-Gon with Barriss and Ezra holding for 6 holds, which is pretty insane. So although I didn't do very well in this particular round, my opponent unfortunately was just a little bit worse than me in terms of the banner count. So I'll be glad to take that win. So heading back to Laphy here, guys. Having a look at his stats, he has placed Kyber 1000, 560,000 lifetime banners, insane amount of holds. He does have 4 Galactic Legends as well as Beskar Mando, Moff Gideon. So I find that in my particular bracket, people tend to have all of the required tunes, or at least the latest tunes, which gives them quite the advantage. As you can see, he even has a ton of rebels such as Cassian Andor and the Rogue One characters. And the interesting thing about Rogue One is I see a lot of videos lately of Rogue One just beating down Grievous and getting a decent amount of banners as well. So actually it's a pretty good investment if you're into 3v3. So having a look at his defense, he does have bugs. Sith Eternal here at the bottom. So we're going to go straight for the Sith Eternal, and typically what I use against this particular match is Supreme Leader Kylo. Now I haven't really gone against Moff Gideon much. I do know he's going to apply Armor Shred, in which he does. So I'm going to try and siphon as much stats as I can. And I do know SLKR is quite a hard counter to Sith Eternal at any rate, and having him solo this particular battle is quite beneficial, as well. As you can see, Sith Eternal isn't charging his ultimate bar as quickly as usual. We're going to switch to Moff Gideon here and drop him really quickly. And we've got 2 stacks of Armor Shred. However, as you can see, Sith Eternal isn't doing too much damage, so I was a little bit worried. However, we seem to be doing well. And we get him down there for 55 banners. He does have Kylo Ren unmasked with OG Kylo and First Order Executioner. I did save JTR for this occasion. So we're going to dispel that taunt. We're going to go for Executioner as soon as possible. We're going to get that stun off. Unfortunately, OG Kylo does take a turn and passes on a ton of turn meter to his team. We drop Fox there. We've still got ability block on Kylo Ren Unmasked, so we're still doing okay. We're gonna wave turn meter off OG Kylo and stun him here. And we're gonna work our way towards Illuminated Destiny. And the other thing is, the feats for this particular GAC involve a lot of resistance characters, so I was quite glad to save my resistance characters at this stage. And having BB-8 wave a ton does have a feat in and of its own, so I should have been able to get that feat after this battle. And we're going to try and drop OG Kylo here. Got healing immunity on Kylo Ren, and we should be able to drop him here. 53 banners. And actually it took me a while to decide what to use against these bugs, as I did place, spoiler alert, I did place a really heavy defense this round as well. And even though we're actually in week 2, I'm still sort of finding my way around how heavy my defense should be in 3v3. As I always seem to be finding myself ending up with just a finite number of characters towards the end of my 3v3s. And let me know in the comments below if you guys feel the same, as I do find setting a heavy defense helps a lot. However, it doesn't help too much with efficiency. So this particular battle, with regard to efficiency, wasn't very good, unfortunately. Night Sisters are good for a couple of things on offense. They're a very cheap counter to either bugs or Grievous. Although typically you're not gonna get a ton of banners. I believe it's about 50 or 51 banners at the most. So really my goal here was to try and get as much plague stacks as I can out on the field. And eventually Geobrood Alpha isn't going to be able to cleanse, and we're going to be able to drop one of the side bugs. So we did drop Sunfac. We're going to go and use our assist ability onto Brood Alpha. And towards the end here, I was actually hoping to get to Darker again so I can get a heal off to get one banner. However, it's quite unfortunate that didn't work out. Having a look at the back here, guys, he didn't place any more Galactic Legends, which I'm quite happy with, as he did set Rey here at the top and Beskar Mando. And in 3v3, I really haven't had much experience utilizing the new Galactic Legends against the old ones. So what I did find that I did in week 1 was that I set a lot of the new Galactic Legends on defense, as I was just so confident in utilizing the old Galactic Legends. However, I've got to change it up, as we all know there's GAC history, so it's pretty easy for the opponent to predict what we're going to be utilizing in the next week. So here I placed Bactoid Shield onto Sith Eternal, as I'm really hoping that he's able to survive a Rey ultimate, as I'm really expecting that the ultimate will go off at some point. I was able to hold down Rey for a bit here with Thrawn in the team, as I was able to fracture early. However, as you can see, without any Sith in the team, we're not doing or applying much damage with Sith Eternal. I did link both the side resistance heroes just to get to my ultimate that much quicker, as I knew I was going to fracture Rei and she wasn't going to be able to take too many turns before her ultimate. So she does do a hurricane here as resistance hero Finn is in the yellow. However, they took a ton of turns, so I'm able to utilize my ultimate on Sith Eternal. Second ability drops both resistance heroes. Rei procs her own damage immunity. So it looks like she's gonna get to another ultimate here, and unfortunately I'm on my own with Sith Eternal and I don't have a side tune. But fortunately, as you can see, I did survive the ultimate. So Bactoid Shield is a very useful tool, guys, especially in 3v3. I do find that I don't use Watt as often as I should be. And oftentimes I do place him on defense with Jedi Master Luke these days. So this is a not so new counter to Grievous in 3v3. So I had a bit of a different game plan here, however, as I knew I wanted to drop B1 before anything, as really serves as the fuel of this team. And although this B2 had a decent amount of potency, he wasn't really applying that much buff immunity, which is always a good thing. So we've got Grandmaster Yoda quite low. I didn't utilize the third ability there, as I knew there was a ton of ability block at this point. Or buff immunity, sorry. So we did survive that salvo. Now we're going to try and mark B2. So Grievous drops Grandmaster Yoda here. He does his multi-attack. However, Grandmaster Yoda survives that time. Gonna pass this turn, and now we're gonna spread the buffs. So it's quite an old counter, however, it still works pretty well. Although it doesn't do well in terms of banners. And in 3v3, I rely a lot on my defense. So I'm hoping my defense does do well here, as it looks like I'm not doing too well in terms of my efficiency. And in the next battle, I knew that I utilized SLKR solo, so I do have a ton of first order at my disposal. I'm going to quickly pass this turn to Kylo Ren Unmasked, as I wanted to stop Bosk in his tracks before he utilizes his taunt, and we're stuck behind his taunt. Going to quickly drop Boba. We did try to remove some turn meter from Bosk, however it didn't work out. So at this point we do get him with his taunt. However, it looks like we're still doing okay. We're still doing a decent amount of damage on Bosk. We're gonna stun Dengar here. And it looks like I'm not gonna get the last banner back, so I'm gonna be happy with 53 banners. And lastly, we do have Beskar Mando here up top. Now previously I didn't have JML on offense, so I actually utilized JKR instead on Beskar Mando, and that worked pretty well. However, I did have him at my disposal, so we're going to use him here with Hoda. And really the goal here is try and drop Beskar Mando as quickly as possible. We do have a ton of tools that work against this particular lineup. However, that IG-11 taunt is insane. I do recall having buff immunity on IG-11 at one point. However, he does regain taunt fairly quickly. Beskar Mando does get to his whistling birds, and he's just stalling at this point as he utilized that ability that that places damage immunity. The other thing that's great about Beskar Mando is he's immune to ability block, so there's really no way of stopping him from getting to his whistling birds unless you're going to be utilizing stuns. And really here we even got to our ultimate ability. So Ezra's doing quite some work here as well. As you can see, he's doing a decent amount of damage under Jedi Master Luke's leadership. And really now I want to get my protection back, and that way I can get a bit more banners. So I'm just passing turns onto Hoda. So it looks like 53 banners. And in the back walls, looking at the fleets, he did place Holdo and Thrawn. So I've been deciding what to use, and I did have Vader here, Piet and Royal Guard. Now, I probably could have done this a little bit better. However, I'm so used to utilizing Wat Tambor with Vader. So I quickly dropped Daka, and I almost dropped Talzin. Spirit takes a turn and gets an assist and utilizes his special here, so unfortunately we do lose a couple of banners in this battle. And the other thing is, I've seen this used a lot by some YouTubers such as Zareth. I do watch a lot of his videos, as I do find that I learn a lot from them. So having Wedge as the leader works pretty well in 3v3. So if you're looking to place CLS on defense, this is a very good alternative to not having CLS on offense. However, the issue here is that this Jango took a turn and utilized his AoE, took a ton of our banners. And against this Mon Mothma, I did have Geonosians. And as you can see at this point, guys, I'm actually losing teams already. And I'm utilizing my whole roster here, as my goal here is really to one-shot all of these teams, and hopefully my opponent trips on one of my defensive teams. I didn't want taunt on Sun Fac yet, and really I want to drop Biggs as soon as I possibly can, and hopefully when Mon Mothma utilizes the revive, it takes a while for her to recover to utilize another revive. These bugs are doing a decent amount of damage on Cara Dune as well. So we're able to drop Cara Dune, and luckily Mon Mothma's revive ability wasn't ready. And we do get the win, although we still get pretty terrible banners. Luckily for this particular matchup, I did save Nihilus, Treya and Scion, as it can be quite tedious going against Nest. So we're going to isolate L3. We're going to quickly try and drop Kira. And now I'm just going to try and recover as much protection as I can, possibly on Nihilus. We're going to get held by Hatred. And we're going to get rid of Nest here, as she's just doing a ton of damage and just taking away banners left and right. At this point, I'm just utilizing basics, try and get ability block, reduce the cooldowns, increase the cooldowns. Try and keep isolating and get a bit of that protection up, which I really don't think helped towards the end, but it was worth a try. Get another isolate out, and we're gonna go for the annihilate. 52 banners. And lastly, we do have Negotiator and Separatists in ships. So we're gonna try and undersize as best as we can here. And that way get some solid banners, hopefully. So only 2 reinforcements. We're going to try and apply the buff immunity. That way we don't get a taunt on Houndstooth. We're going to try and quickly drop Poe Dameron. I'm going to basic down the Resistance Pilot. And I threw out Plo just because I wanted to get my protection back on Jedi Knight Anakin. And we're stuck behind a taunt from this Houndstooth. We get a target lock on the ship to the left. So we're going to utilize our big hit. We drop Houndstooth with a basic. He takes out Rey's Millennium Falcon. And we're going to basic down that ship there. And I'll take 65. Lastly, we do have Thrawn, so we're going to use our Malevolence. So they did cleanse off the buzz droids. This basic should drop the bomber. And we don't have further buzz droids on the field. So we're not going to be able to drop them quick enough before they take our banners away. And we get 61 towards the end. So overall, that was a pretty exciting GAC, guys. There was a lot of planning and thinking ahead in that GAC. So it took me a while to actually do my battles. Typically, I usually do my battles fairly early. However, there's about 11 hours on the clock and my opponent hasn't started yet. So what I might do is I might just place on the comments as to what our final score is once Laphy has started attacking. But I'll show you my defenses here. At the bottom, I did have Padme, Darth Revan, and Rey. And the whole goal here was to try and get him to use at least 2 Galactic Legends if I can, as he did hold onto his Supreme Leader Kylo and his Jedi Master Luke. At the top, I did have Night Sisters with Nest, I had Grievous, I had CLS, and I had Newt Gunray with Dooku. And really what I'm trying to achieve here, guys, is if he does utilize 2 Galactic Legends in the front, then he'll have to deal with Gas and Jedi Luke in the back, which is a pretty solid team, if you ask me, guys, to have on defense. As if you have quite a fast Shaak Ti, it can be quite problematic. So these are what I have for ship defense. And ultimately, that is the end for this GAC. I hope you guys liked this particular GAC video. I will try and continue to make more in the future, or at least probably 1 GAC video per week. So please leave a like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate your support, guys. I do love talking to you as well. And I will see you on the next one.